Hello, hello.
Bye.
Tonight we have everyone except James. Because James is a meanie-faced meanie-head who doesn't like us. Right?
That just makes me want to cry.
That's what he said. Specifically to you, Charles. Specifically to you.
He knows that. That's it.
Alright, so we are starting a little bit later than usual tonight, unfortunately. But we've got some stuff that we can finally move ahead on now that all the bureaucracy stuff is done. So, to start, as usual, who would like to handle the recap from last week?
The person who wasn't there.
All right, go ahead, Gelfie. Rock it.
So, there was a power outage, and I sat at home doing basically nothing. And yeah, that was about it.
All right, well, give yourself personally 100 experience. I don't think that's going to help you in the game, but at least in terms of, like, real useful. Anyone want to give us the in-game recap?
All right, so we divided up the treasure, including the gems. We divvied up some of the items, giving Gelfine the Masterwork Scythe. We talked about weight. Then we went and we did a lot of legal paperwork, including getting incorporated, picking a name. I believe we also picked a motto, or no? I think we did. But I'd like to thank Tom and Whitney for getting that done, because I believe you two were the ones that got most of that done. Then I went to the... we also had somebody from the Temple of Shishat come and try to remove the evil off of El's building. It did not work, and we got to meet the elite people of the temple, and then they had went to get the... I forgot what the name of the person was. Was it the monkey priest? No, that's totally fucking wrong. The high cleric?
Yes.
Is that right? High cleric? So, but we were told to leave, so I didn't get to meet the high cleric, which was disappointing. And then we went into divvied up the treasure. I donated a lot to my order. I got a bless, and then I tried to perform at the Ruxpin place and met a Ruxpin, and we had a wonderful conversation that was illuminating and plunged me further into mystery.
Excellent. That is 100 XP for the good recap.
Hey, finally, for the first time ever. I successfully did a recap.
This is like the first time
you did forget about us guarding the makeout spot.
Oh, yes, that is important.
What?
We guarded the makeout spot.
They were talking about putting signs on the door of Owl's, like saying people should not go in there, and then it evolved into like how people were going to make out there, and then they decided they had to guard the spot.
Which we didn't actually do.
Yes.
We abandoned it.
That's because we didn't see any teens there.
Yes.
Other people can make out there scandalously.
Alright, so at the beginning of, let's see. We're going to rule that we kind of wrapped up that day. And that it is evening. You guys spent most of the day trying to deal with all the bureaucracy and such.
Hey, I had a lot more bureaucracy lined up for us.
Oh, by all means, then.
Now, by roll my knowledge law, what other sort of knowledge or whatever other sort of bureaucracy can I get us into?
Go ahead, actually. Because there is technically one more thing that you need to do. Okay. On your knowledge law, you know one other thing you need to do now that you've incorporated is you need to notify the fam hands that you've incorporated and that you're changing your group name to be your company name.
Okay.
And you'll probably have to fill out some kind of form there as well.
Yeah, we can do that when we get back.
Yep. Alright, so... Let me update my notes here real quick.
All right, now it's time for the buying session. I got that 600 gold piece gem burning a hole in my pocket.
Well, it sounds like actually everybody's got some plans for the buy-in. So yeah, we're going to start that off the next day. Before we get to that, though, it's time for people to get some sleep. And Charles, can I have you orient your camera just a little bit more to get you in focus, or is it going to fall into oblivion if I ask you to do that?
Let's try this out, Steve. I think this could be fun.
It could also be fatal.
Fuck, how does it the exact same? I moved
You did. I saw it move, and then I saw it reorient to being completely off center. All right.
Hey, it's me, everybody.
Perfect.
Welcome, birthday boy.
Thanks.
So we're going to start with the person who
Can't
often
believe I'm
has.
60.
Yes.
You're not
You're not 60. Get out of here. It is indeed today. Today is indeed Charles's birthday, and as such, shall we also make it Meg's birthday?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So Meg's birthday is now the 13th of Pritium.
Ooh, send that to me so I can add that onto my Facebook page. Because Meg has a Facebook page.
Certainly. I need a friend Meg then.
You know, all my characters have Facebook pages and email IDs.
All right,
Oh my gosh.
I will shoot that to you once we finish up the session, because I would
Okay.
otherwise have to play with my phone.
Yeah, there's no rush.
Okay, so that will be the 13th. We are finishing up the 12th today, though. So, Whitney, you are the most active in the evening in some ways. So,
What? You mean Whitney or Pax? Because
I mean, I realized. Yes.
Everybody loves that joke.
I wouldn't say everybody.
Yes. Everybody who's
Misplay.
not love that joke.
All right, so
What are you
Pax,
trying to say? Mm-hmm.
you're preparing for bed as usual. Are you just going to try to go to bed, or do you want to try to do another one of those figuring out what this thing is that keeps stopping you from sleeping?
Oh no, it hasn't been coming up much lately, so I think I'm okay.
All right, so you can try to head to bed. Go ahead and give me that will save.
Hold on a second. I have to go over to my other screen because I'm fancy now.
Fancy.
You mean your other
Yes.
laptop?
Yeah. See, these are the things that are annoying because I'm like,
These are
Oh.
a few of my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, you are, you again start feeling a little bit frustrated, but, like, you still find falling asleep to be pretty easy.
I'm a peaceful kind of girl, you know?
Mm-hmm. Alright. So, Charles.
Yeah.
Meg, not
I'm,
Charles.
I'm talking to Charles, and then I'm gonna focus on Meg.
Ja, mein Haar.
Meg.
Yes.
That's not how she sounds.
That was awful.
That was like
almost
Mrs.
like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes! I was gonna say like Meg Doubtfire. Oh, that was a good movie.
Alright, so, Meg is getting ready for bed. Does Meg have any, like, nighttime rituals?
Yeah, I'd like to change into my fancy pajamas, which have symbols of Shishat on them. It's a dressing gown type thing with a cap. I've not declared this, so we'll figure out how much that costs, and I'll be sure to buy that.
No, it's fine. We can say your character has it already. It's one of the few things that she kept before getting thrown out of the GPPF.
I do some, maybe have a little strawberry milk and cookies, like gnomes like to do.
Well,
and,
strawberry flavored at this point. You can't get actual strawberries at this point without spending quite a bit.
Okay. We use Rapid, the local mix. No, seriously, I probably have a nice cooling mug of some kind of tea, right? I'm assuming they have the herbal teas that are pretty common.
Yes.
And and hunker down for the night.
Okay.
Thanks, Shot, for another wonderful day.
So you kind of make your way to bed, feeling rather good. However, tonight your sleep is not as restless or not as restful as usual.
Damn it.
Something about what you interacted with seems to fill your thoughts and your dreams as you sleep. You keep seeing a figure, a very dark and shadowed figure that is looming around you. In a voice that you remember your grandmother talking about. You need to back off and stop looking. If you find what you're after, it will end poorly for you.
Ooh.
Those words ring in your head when you rise with the rising sun.
Who's next to me?
In the room next to you is Whitney, is Pex. Yes.
I'm knocking on your door, Pax.
Oh, hold on.
Let me come back to the two of you real quick.
Did women just toss this aside?
Galfine.
For another woman.
What do you do before bed?
Drawing.
Shocking.
Finish up a couple of sketches.
What is it you're sketching today?
I have no inspiration.
I mean, you've seen a lot of interesting stuff. Are you drawing something that you know, or are you drawing something that you've seen?
Maybe you're drawing some kitten jerky.
I'm not
Maybe-
drawing kitten.
Maybe you're drawing some kittens being made into kitten jerky.
Or drawing a badly beaten Harcourt.
Shit.
Or drawing your fist going towards Harcourt.
Yes.
Good action drawing.
Yeah.
You finish up your sketch, and you retire to bed. This evening, sleep is more difficult for you as well. But in your case, a little more difficult to get there than so much being there. This has been quite a heavy day for you. You've dealt with a large, infestation of evil, and you've kind of had to experience how, even after defeating a foe, you still have little ability to, do what you would like to do to make things better. You're left in a kind of uncomfortable, unfinished feeling of if only there was maybe more you could have done about this situation. But eventually you do get to sleep, and it is minimally impactful on your ability to rest. Zug.
Mhm.
In the evening, there is a knock at your door.
Alright, looking out the peephole.
You look out the peephole, and there is a rather young elf standing outside of the door. She is female, and she looks as if she is looking down at a piece of paper periodically.
Alright, well, I'll get the burning hands ready and open the door.
Alright. She looks down a little bit surprised as your hands have a slight glowy residue starting about them. Oh, don't shoot.
Who are you?
I have a message for you. It's I don't understand it. But it.
Alright, I'll take it and I'll slam the door.
Okay. What? Oh.
That's pretty funny.
She saunters off. Okay. So this message is a encrypted message. You will have to find a way to decode, or encoded message. You'll have to find a way to decode it.
Let me add this to my sheet here. Encoded message.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So in the morning, Pax and Meg. Meg is knocking at your door, Pax.
I keep a knocking, but I can't come in.
Hey, what's up? I'm still waking up.
I had the worst dream.
Come in. What happened?
So, I have been searching for my grandfather, because that is part of why I've been thrown out of the popular.
You can
What
say
do
it
we have
however
to
you
call-
want. Because
GPPF.
PPF, the Popular Gnomish People's Front.
GPPF.
no, he's fine to do that. The gnomes do that all the time. It's
So,
something you can do if you're a gnome. It's something you can't do if you're not.
You
See?
can forget the name?
You can
No,
say
we
the
can
name in
change
any
the-
order. Yeah.
Yeah. The
It's
running
confusing.
joke was I would change the name of it based on the Monty Python joke from The Life of Brian, where they would keep changing the name of the Popular People's Front of Judea to like the Judean Popular People's Front, etc., etc. So I've been investigating my grandfather's disappearance, and I met a woman last night when I felt brazen and attempted to perform at the where did
At
I
the
attempt to?
tavern?
At Teddy's.
Yeah.
Cantina.
Teddy's.
No, he attempted
Oh.
to perform at Teddy's.
And a voice that sounded familiar from the way my grandmother described it, told me I need to stop looking. But everything about me is about finding my grandfather and getting back into with my people. And I just don't think I can abandon this quest. But I've never had a harbinger in a dream like that.
So, wait. What did your performance have to do with it? You said you were performing and then you heard this voice, but the voice was in the dream?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I met a woman and we talked about this at Teddy's, about how I was looking for my grandfather. I don't know if it directly relates. But then I went to sleep and a voice came to me in the dream that, sounded like a voice that had been described to me. And it told me I have to stop looking.
The voice that had been described to you, which was who?
I don't remember. It was somebody that my grandmother had talked about, but it was so long ago. It was somebody that my grandfather knew. My grandfather was such a gnome about town.
Do you still have any connections to anyone at the GPPF?
No, I've been kicked out.
Well, I didn't know if there's anyone who still is any kind of friendly with you.
Nobody has stepped forward.
That sounds like a stressful dream. I'm sorry.
But I don't know. I just don't know if I'm ready to give up my quest for some voice in a dream.
I mean, yeah, why should you? It's just a voice. Do you think anybody at your temple could help you figure out what might be going on?
Yeah, we may, I may ask that. I can pray to Shashat for some guidance.
Seems like a good idea. Maybe we should get some breakfast too.
Let's have the breakfast first.
That's always my vote.
Okay. So Galfine and Zug are probably downstairs waiting for you when you guys finish, or down at the diner when you guys finish up
Okay.
your conversation. And you guys can continue if you want down there.
Sure. I'm ready for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So we're having grits with pimento, egg, and cheese.
Pimento, poached egg, avocado, hot sauce, and maybe something else.
Okay. Sounds good. Really good.
All right, so you're enjoying your
Special.
grits. What are the other two of you having?
I'm gonna order up the special.
Okay. The special today is what the special usually is. It's
Kitten
a
jerky.
couple of eggs and some ham.
That's so bare bones. Special today is as special as yesterday. Eggs and ham in fucking joy.
What if I want green eggs and ham?
Eggs are
very good.
green. You can have a wizard prestidigitate them for you.
That would be a good marketing thing. Come to here and enjoy
Here,
green
I'll
eggs
turn,
and
I'll
ham.
turn the eggs green.
There you go. You prestidigitate it, and bam, green eggs. They're green for the next hour.
And I give them a green smell.
Ugh.
Wait,
Greens. Smells of FDC 5. The smell of coal tar.
All right. So, is there anything you guys want to discuss this morning while you're seated around the table at breakfast?
What does everybody got planned for today?
Are we doing another mission? We have a break still.
Presently, you have a break.
Oh, is there anything else we have to do for the company that we set up? Are we all done with that?
Yeah, no, we gotta fill out a final piece of paperwork here.
Okay, so we should probably try and take care of that today, right?
Yep.
Do you
Okay.
want help with that?
Yep.
Somebody
I can
comes
come with
over. Somebody comes over in the middle of your conversation. If you'll excuse me for a second, I was asked to drop off a note to a group that fits your exact description. It is from a Harcourt. He says that he will be unable to join you as he had to make a temporary detour to House So to deal with some issues there, but he'll be back as soon as he can.
I hope he's okay.
I think he got hornswoggled.
I sense motive the note.
Nice.
You can sense motive the note. I don't know what that's really gonna do.
Well, that's why I wasn't really rolling.
The note has
no,
evil
you should
intent.
roll it. Can I send a message in the bottle to Harcourt?
Yes. Harcourt will actually be here in just a moment.
How do I send the message in a bottle again?
You basically either type it into the chat or you type a message directly to him in Discord, or you type it in the Akunsaunt campaign chat, or you type it in the Akunsaunt campaign private Discord. Any one of those three options is an effective way. This monitor is going to end up dying on me. This monitor's getting way worse. All right, so you send off your message to Harcourt.
All right.
I just want to make sure he's doing okay because he always talks about how much he loves House So. Want to make sure he doesn't get lost there.
All right, so what else do you guys want to discuss?
Well, how long is our break?
As long as you guys want it to be. The Famhand stuff is on a, you take out the quests.
Okay. Huh.
Do you guys want to take a day to rest? Or do you want to start looking at what other missions are available?
Zalg, is there something you needed to do?
No, I have some plans to potentially make some upgrades to my my living area, but nothing important.
What are you
I
doing?
say as I bluff.
He's
Okay.
building an abattoir.
You gotta roll your bluff. Oh, right.
There you go.
So nobody believes you.
Yeah, you're like, I'm totally gonna go buy some stuff for my house. Yes, house. Right, house. That's what I mean, house. Domicile, the place where I live.
I'm certainly not going to do anything other than that. You have no reason to believe otherwise.
Yep, I'm not murdering and skinning kittens to turn their bodies into kitten jerky or anything. Don't worry.
I'll just hang out with you all day just to make sure.
I slowly put my kitten trap back into my backpack
Ugh.
with a sad look in my eyes.
The kitten trap you don't have.
Are you excited to hang out with me today? I'll help you get the paperwork done.
Fun.
With a song and a smile.
Some people think kitten jerky just makes itself.
What
But
are you
here at Epic Inc., we know how.
What are you two gonna do with your day, Meg and Gelfie?
Well, I'm probably going to go down to the temple to talk about my dream, because that was your good suggestion. Then I'm going to, I don't know,
Pray.
pray. I got to pray just to make it today.
Maybe some volunteering.
I'm going to feed the homeless, but not feed them kitten jerky.
Good plan.
Who are you gonna feed
Yeah,
the homeless
don't
to?
waste any kitten jerky on them.
They don't need any kitten
Y'all are
jerky.
terrible.
What has the homeless done for me lately? That's what I'm saying.
Ooh,
Nice.
baby.
Well, I gave all those alms to buy food for the homeless, so I guess I'll follow through and hand out whatever food provisions I ended up buying. See if there's any. Go ahead.
Oh, I'd help you with that once I'm done with the paperwork.
Oh, cool. All right. We'll be at the Temple of Shashat. Delphine, would you like to come and help out the homeless?
The excitement filling her face.
Possibly.
You should come. It's good for you to interact with people.
Who said I wasn't going to interact with people?
I mean, past
Oh, that
history.
sounds ominous. Who says I wasn't going to interact with people? I have a scythe for interacting with people.
That's not what that's for.
I've never met a person I could interact with without the tip of my scythe. Maybe you could set up a booth and do sketches down at the wharf. You know what I mean, like at Dragon Cove, at Dragon Cove's boardwalk. Zug, you've heard about the famous Dragon Cove boardwalk, right? Where the artists gather together and make sketches of people.
So, do you have knowledge history?
No.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, just law, local,
Wouldn't
nobility,
local do it?
and arcana. I could do a knowledge nobility for maybe a.
I'll sort of give you
Dragon's
a
Cove
I'll sort of
noble.
give you a knowledge local here, and I will definitely give you a knowledge nobility on that.
I'm gonna try to wink on the sly.
Ah!
Oh God. Okay. So knowledge local means that you remember back when people from Dragon's Cove... You remember hearing people talk about when people from Dragon's Cove were allowed in a town. You remember that there's no artistry in Dragon's Cove. Dragon's Cove is full of brutes who beat on each other, at least back when you remember the stories of it. And when they would come to town, they were mostly looking for, like, ways to try to make a quick buck here and there. To bring back to their town because it was having monetary problems. But from nobility, you know, the most well-known person in all of the history of Dragon's Cove was the hero of Dragon's Cove, Sax Paddington, the epic war bear that saved the town from being overrun by dragons.
Excuse me, war bear?
War bear.
I think you're missing an important
about Dragon's
fact.
Cove.
I think you're missing an important fact about Sax Paddington. He wore a luchador mask. But
Yeah.
I try to wink as if because I'm joshing about the Dragon's Cove thing.
Well, to be fair, Meg would actually know both of old Dragon's Cove and current Dragon's Cove because her grandmother would have spoke of Dragon's Cove one way, but later you would have heard like Dragon's Cove, all the things you knew about Dragon's Cove were wrong. This part, I guess you weren't as privy to, but Gimbal would have known Dragon's Cove to be a place with like antiquing and knitting circles and
Green bean casserole?
Yes. But after the timeline change, all of that changed, and it was basically Sax Paddington became like a very like rough and tumble kind of guy that protected the town from a dragon invasion.
So this is actually a character, Sax Paddington.
Sax Paddington wasn't a character. Sax Paddington was something Ryan made up that I put into the game. And it may actually exist further beyond that, but...
In your personal life.
Yes. My personal war bear.
He's a war bear that wore a luchador mask that protected Dragon's Cove from the dragons.
He didn't wear a luchador mask. There was no luchador mask.
Ryan told me he wore a luchador mask. I believed it.
Ryan only gets so much say in what happens in my world. He is not the GM. Just because I put things that players suggest into the game does not mean that they run the game.
Hey, now that I heard that he wears a luchador mask, I believe that he wears a luchador mask. And if enough of us believe in that luchador mask,
yes.
Then the luchador mask will gain godlike power? Is that what your goal
it
is?
will.
Yes.
It will.
Come worship the luchador mask. Well, whatever. I hope you have fun, whatever it is you're going to do, Galfine. I'm sure it will be just as fun as helping out the homeless of whatever the city is, Akunsaunt.
Thanks.
All right, Zug, should we get going?
Sure.
Where do we need to go to do the paperwork?
Fam hand building.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the two of you are going to get up from breakfast and head on over to the Fam Hands building.
Fam Hands building.
In the meantime, Meg, you're going to the church, and Galfine, where are you heading? Since you're making this a big secret. Let's start with you.
I believe it's also by the Fam Hands building.
The Kitten Jerky Factory?
Okay, so you are heading to the Fam Hands building as well. Are you gonna, like, keep a distance behind Pax and Zug, or are you gonna just follow alongside of them?
I'm gonna keep a distance.
Okay. Give me a stealth check. Well, there's a lot of people out today, so it's basically just DC 10.
The mysterious half-orc of the epic party.
Okay, so you're not really doing a good job. There's a lot of, like,
Hey
clanking
there.
and,
Why don't you come walk with us? You coming in this way?
Yeah,
I
that
couldn't help-
-6 ain't gonna help me on a stealth check.
Nope.
Come here.
Yeah, Galfine like tripped and started tumbling towards us.
I couldn't help but notice you lurking in the background.
All right, so now you're inadvertently heading with them to the Fam Hands building.
Don't worry,
Where
I
are
saved
you
the
heading?
paperwork for you, Galfine.
Oh, that's so good.
All right, I'll jump over to Meg real quick, and then we'll jump back to the
I'm
three
not
of you.
going to the Fam Hands building or
Correct.
stealthily. Yeah.
So you make your way back to the Temple of Sashat over in House Narenhawk.
Okay.
They are, as usual, happy to see you again.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hello.
We have good news to report.
Excellent.
The High Cleric has arrived and is preparing to cleanse the location that you discovered.
Wow, that's fantastic. It's a great day to be a follower of Sashat. Every
Very,
day is.
very specifically, though, the High Cleric has asked to speak to you.
Okay. I had also come here because I had a dream about my life mission and wished to seek some counseling from an elder in the church.
That can be arranged. Perhaps that should happen after you speak with the High Cleric. Maybe he would even be interested in hearing of your plight.
I would love to speak to the High Cleric. Lead me on.
They guide you through the building to a giant archway.
Uh-huh.
When you step through the archway, do you have any ranks in survival?
No, it's we swapped that out for perform.
That's fine. Still give me a survival.
It's the eye of the tiger. Oh, come on.
Okay, so you notice that your orientation has suddenly changed as you step through the door, and you're now standing in a rather large open room with a ceiling that has a beautiful mural on it of a variety of different characters throughout the history of Sashat, various followers, and scenes that depict like the heroic actions that they've performed.
Wow.
Standing with a couple of clerics off to the right and left is a rather silent figure dressed in very ornately decorated robes with the symbol of Sashat blazoned like in a glowing light above her chest.
Oh, wow.
She takes a few steps forward to you and nods in acceptance of your appearance here.
I ingratiate myself.
It is good to see you,
Which is,
Meg.
Wow. I am honored that you know my name.
I would not know your name if not for an old friend, but I do remember it thanks to her wisdom. Your discovery of this place, it unnerves me. I'm very worried that perhaps something more nefarious is happening in the Blade family. We've had reports of other people experiencing these demonic encounters, but we've chalked it up to nothing more than the Dark One's influences in the city, that perhaps he's been sneaking people in, but this is the first we've heard that people are being converted to his followers.
Hmm.
I was
There is
told...
no-
Go ahead.
I was going to say, there's no end to the Dark One's perfidy.
There is not. It will always be his desire to defile the world. What I am most curious about, though, is which of them it is this time. Thus far, we have had reason to believe that most of the followers of Blades were worshippers of Ulaz. And Ulaz is not one to take to demonic interests. That would be more in the realm of the Kashram.
Mm-hmm.
But the Kashram has of late been very silent. He has no longer plagued my home country. And we hope...
So then the bartender says, Rectum, I barely knew him!
Too soon.
So loud.
Too soon.
We can't even see your face. There you are.
Alright. Getting back to it, though.
Okay. I completely forgot what you were saying.
We need somebody who can look into this that isn't going to attract the attention of the higher-ups. And right now, you're just a group of people that stumbled onto something accidentally. Well, you will attract attention. It'll be the attention we want. The attention of the people who will inadvertently spill the information through attempts most likely on your lives.
Ugh.
Wait, who's killing us?
Potentially people from House Blade, but this is Meg having a private conversation with the High Cleric of Sashat.
Ah, got it.
This is clerisy talk only.
I pay $19.95 a month for that.
Oh my. So, I remain ever your humble servant. Is there a specific thing that I need to do, or just to gather information, as any good cleric would do of Sashat?
Our assumption is that more events will happen in House Blade that the Famhands will have to take an interest in. Keep your eyes open for those events. Ask about for those events. Find out anyone who is working on any House Blade cases that you can. And make sure that if you are not involved in them directly, that you have some form of indirect involvement where you can.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And one final word of warning. House Stonefist are often firm believers of Thoth, and they will be less than helpful even if your interactions with Blade and the information they could share with you could be a benefit to you. So trust nothing of the words that they say.
Okay.
Without verification, of course.
From House Stonefist?
From House Stonefist.
Wow. I got two houses I have to be wary of, huh?
Indeed. This is what I have been briefed on by my advisors, but the most important thing I can tell you to be wary of is that whichever god this is, his influence here should not allow these kind of creatures to exist. And if he has gained this level of power here, then he has quite a following. It is possible that most, if not all, of House Blade all worship the same deity. And if that is the case in a city like this, that gives him almost as much power as the Prime himself claims.
Huh.
So his followers may be exceptionally more powerful than you may be used to.
Well, this will require stealth and careful thought before acting.
Indeed it will. We will share with you what information we can, so feel free to make periodic visits back here, and we will give you all the information that we have learned. Our thoughts are your thoughts.
It is a blessing to worship Sashat.
It is a blessing to have you follow Shishat.
Thank you, Your Holiness.
You are very welcome. Also, word has it that you've had some sort of altering experience recently that has shifted your interest in your own personal journey. Is that true?
Yes, Your Grace. Last night I attempted to perform my stand-up at, why can't I remember? Ruxpin's, right? Teddy's. I bumped into a young lady who I shared my information and my struggle with feeling alienated from my people. And last night I was visited by a voice that reminded me of a voice my grandmother spoke of in her stories of my grandfather, telling me not to seek my grandfather. But as you know, my life mission has been to unravel this mystery. And I have sought through, I believe Shishat's wisdom is the true course for this. And so I am unclear as to what to do.
Your prayers have not been unheard, Meg. We understand that. We understand what you're dealing with, and we can only tell you that your friend is on a mission that will yield you the answers that you seek. The one that you have traveling with you that is different than the rest of your crew. If you help him reach his goals, then he will help you reach yours indirectly. He seeks the one with the answers.
Okay, so... Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your guidance. I appreciate your augury. I shall go about my missions. Thank you, Your Grace.
You're welcome. Be safe.
Can I take another quick look around the frescoes and make any note? I just like the whole look of it.
Absolutely. This is so some of the things that you can see, and one that becomes clearer now that you've seen the High Priestess, is you see the High Priestess up on the ceiling, and behind her, somebody has painted what looks as if like there is a spectral shark flying through the air behind her. Beside her, there are a number of other people. One man wearing a suit of armor that is like the vines, vines that come up from the earth. Another, a rather darkened skinned man who stands behind a semi-spectral figure that fights at his side. Beside that, Tom, I'm forgetting your character in that game.
What?
I'm forgetting your character in that game.
Which game?
The Land Shark game.
How many games ago was that? I don't.
That was started with an R, didn't it?
That was the one where you guys were in the town, the city that was created by Ryan. And I can't remember the name of the city right now.
Yeah, that's when I joined. That's when I joined.
Yes.
Was that my the transgender bard?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
So you see what looks like a female character fighting alongside of them, and she fought with daggers, correct? Thrown daggers?
It like some dancing dervish thing. I think it was
That was
like
it.
scimitars.
That was it. Thank you.
Yeah, because she had the boots.
A lot of those character sheets have disappeared, so it's hard for me to remember some of this. And then beside each of them, you see somebody who's like painted more softly in the background, adding assistance, as well as a figure that comes up a few times in the painting. A painting of a rather young man who has rather long hair and seems to appear with a couple of the other groups on the wall as well.
I'm going to make a note of that individual.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to wander out and kind of contemplate on it while I'm getting ready to, to see what my alms went to and how I can assist the temple in today's passing out of knowledge and food.
Okay. So you head back down, and you're going to inquire about what happened with your last donation and who you can help today.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So they give you kind of the details on the work that they've done in the unaligned territory, trying to help people better move from their homes into having to live now basically homeless, as the number of rooms in the apartments are starting to dwindle and space is starting to become very limited. What they ask of you, they actually have some big requests for you at this point. There are many being displaced after the incidents that happened in House Blade. A number of people who have been proven to be linked to the whole Owls operation are being thrown out of House Blade and have nowhere to go. All of what they had has been declared stolen property and is therefore being taken by the family, and they are pushed out into the unaligned territory, disowned and broke.
Wow, search and seizure, way to go.
Yep. So many of them are looking for some basic needs to be taken care of, food, a place to stay. There's a few organizations that do help with that, but as it stands, there's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of places to put them, and not a lot of room for quite this many people. It's not like hundreds, but it's dozens at a time where there was barely enough room for a handful more.
So there's no room at the inn?
No, there's no room at the inn, and the stables are all booked up.
Oh, no way.
There'll be no Jesus this year.
Okay, wow.
All right, I'll let you sit on that for a little bit, and we're gonna jump to, we'll actually jump over to Harcourt real quick so we can explain what he's been doing while the party had their breakfast.
What was he doing?
Harcourt, you in the night had a visitor that you remember quite fondly. It was Mara. And she said it was important that you come with her to House Zoe. They noticed some inconsistencies in what they had pulled from your mind, and they need some clarification from you. And so she asked if you would follow her there.
Yes.
Okay. So she leads you back there. They bring you into a conference room in one of their barracks. They lock the door behind them, and one of them proceeds to sprinkle some stuff. One of the guards inside sprinkles some stuff around the room, waves his hands in the air a few times, muttering some words in Draconic, and the whole room kind of lights up in a bright flash of daylight for a moment, and then it dims back down to regular light. We are safe to continue this conversation here.
Are we still on this plane?
We are.
Oh, okay.
One of the people who comes out from the shadows is the person who you remember as being the member of the group that looks kind of like the member of the group that you knew, but something about them seems different.
Okay. So we're talking about Ryan's character.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. I actually like Ryan, so I don't know why I'm being so crappy.
It's side effect of most of his characters. No.
That is true. That is true.
I like Ryan's characters, but sometimes in combat, going defensive should not be his only choice.
I'm gonna curl up into a ball and fall over unconscious.
So he comes out of the shadows. You don't have me right in any of those memories.
Memories.
Don't
I get lost.
have control over what I remember.
He gets really close to you.
Oh man.
Look at my face. Does it appear to you to be different than your memories? Oops, I'm gonna switch.
Sort of yes, sort of no. I can see who you were.
Now, in those memories, you referred to me as Thaddeus.
Yes.
That is not my name.
What is your name?
Yeah.
My name is Theodore.
No, I only know one Theodore. You're definitely not.
But I am.
We didn't call him Theodore, so.
Yes, for some reason he convinced you that his name was Thaddeus. Yet all of his records, and they quickly put up something from your memories where there were a few documents that were like on across the table in the captain's office, and they push your memory in, they zoom the memory in, and you notice that on one of the documents the name Theodore is there. It's brazen, but we have reason to believe that in wherever your memories come from, someone named Thaddeus infiltrated your group.
No.
But you admit that I'm not Thaddeus.
I can't say for sure that you are, but I can't say for sure that you because I'm not exactly I'm here, but I'm not here.
Yes, you mentioned that kind of thing before. I think we generally get the idea that if what you're saying is true, you have somehow traveled backwards in time, but things have suddenly become different. Is that what I'm to assume?
Okay. Again, my way I'm remembering this is kind of weird, because if I remember you guys correct, right about now, I should be in a warehouse with some werewolves.
According to the memory, it wasn't a warehouse. It was the celebration, and there were the werewolves. You were supposed to be acting as concierge, and werewolves broke in. So your memory is fuzzy, at least when it's not being drawn out. But the important thing is that you do recognize that there is something different about me.
Oh yeah, there's something different about all of it. Mara, her face is not supposed to burn.
Right, but all of the rest of them look the same except for some minor changes. You would say that of everyone, I am the most significantly different in appearance and in action.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Go with that. But again, can't say that you are, and I can't say that you are.
If our theory is correct, it is very likely that there was an attempt from another house to infiltrate House So.
Not that I am privy to?
Well, all that we're asking is that if you happen to see this Thaddeus again, that you let us know where you saw him and see if you can get some information out of him.
Oh, okay. I'll see what I can do, Theodore.
Thank you.
Sure you don't go by the name Teddy?
No, I do not. I am Theodore J. Zoe.
Always hated that middle initial.
They, you actually hear all of them correct him as well. It is just Theodore Zoe. Do not call him Theodore J.
Ugh. Homer J.
You are released, but when you leave, you do notice that, like, several hours have suddenly skipped by. You were in there, when you got there, it was like, you know, mid-evening. When you leave, like, the sun is up, and it's been up for a little while.
Yeah, wait. It's more time fucking, what the hell?
Alright, we're gonna pause for a sec before we get back to Galfine and Zug and Meg, or and Pax. So we will be right back.
Cool. I'll continue working on my kitten jerky commercial.